Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. Today I'm going to be doing the reading habits tag. Katie from Books and Things tagged me into this. Thank you very much, Katie. And I will link her video below because it is very fun and very good. This is a book tag that when I was watching Katie do this video I was thinking, please let her have tagged me in this because this is something that I want to talk about. I'm going to be talking about my reading habits. So let's get going. So the first question is, do you have a favourite place at home to read? And I have two favourite places. One is in bed, because obviously it's nice to read in bed before you go to sleep. And I've got a really old man pillow that I like to sit against when I'm reading in bed, which I think some mothers use for breastfeeding, but I like to use it for book reading. So that's one of my favourite places to read. Another favourite place of mine to read is on my sofa. I've got a lovely long sofa from IKEA. It's getting quite old, but it's so comfy. And I've got a lamp up one end, and I like to spread myself out on that sofa underneath that lamp and read with a cup of tea because there's a coffee table very close next to it. So it's very low effort. Don't have to do anything. Once you're there, that's it. Just need to toilet yourself every few hours. So those are the two favourite places I have at home to read. Question 2 is bookmark or random piece of paper. Now I love bookmarks and I never have enough. I recently went to Disneyland and bought myself a new bookmark, and I also got a photo from the Tower of Terror ride which had a magnet with it, which I've also been using as a bookmark. I need bookmarks because I'm always running out and I end up having to use receipts, post-it notes. When I start a book at work I quite often use a post-it note, which is very annoying because I like to follow words down with my bookmark and you can't really do that with a post-it note. So I like bookmarks. I prefer bookmarks, but I do end up using quite a lot of random pieces of paper, so bookmarks is what I want. David, put bookmarks on the birthday and Christmas list.
Bookmarks.
Bookmarks! 3, can you stop anywhere or do you have to stop at the end of a chapter? I can stop anywhere and I do stop anywhere. I would love to live in a world where I was able to think, oh, I'm going to read to the end of this chapter, but quite often, because I'm really busy at the moment with life and such things, I'm not able to read to the end of a chapter. And also when I'm in bed of an evening, I would love to be able to read for much longer than I'm able to. For instance, think, oh, I'm going to read a chapter, but quite often I end up falling asleep before I end up doing it. So I would love to be able to read to the end of a chapter, but I don't. I do tend to stop wherever, but always at the top of the page, never in the middle of the page, because that's what nut-nuts do. Number 4, do you drink or snack whilst reading? I always have a cup of tea whilst reading. I love tea, whether it be normal tea, I have to have caffeine-free tea, or green teas, flavoured teas. I just like a nice hot drink when I'm reading, and I always read on my lunch break at work, so I always tend to be eating my lunch when I'm reading as well at work, which is nice. Nice little break. Number 5 is, can you listen to music or watch TV whilst reading? I cannot concentrate if anything else is going on behind, like in the background. So for instance, when I went up to London last weekend, I had a lovely an hour and a half train journey there and back, and I thought I'm going to get so much reading done. Well, about 20 minutes into the journey, there were so many people talking on that train that I was just unable to concentrate on my reading. So I really do try to block out background noise to read, but quite often I do need silence. Number 6, do you read one book or more than one at one time? I read one at one time because I just cannot concentrate on more than one thing at one time. When I was younger, I used to go to the library and I used to get out, I was allowed to get out 12 books. I used to get out 12 books and I used to start every single one of them. I used to read about 2 or 3 pages of every single one and then decide which one I wanted to read first, and then I'd pick up the next one where I'd left off. There is no way on earth I will be able to do that now. I just cannot remember things. My short-term memory is absolutely disgusting, and I just can't read more than one book at one time. I'm hoping to start, I've got a Roald Dahl short story collection, 2 volumes, and I've got another short story collection I've just bought, and I'm hoping to sort of read those alongside novels because they're short stories, so they don't really flow. So as soon as I've finished one, that's fine. So I'm hoping to be able to do that, but as a rule, no, I have to read one book at one time. Number 7, read at home or somewhere else. I love reading at home. Reading at home is my favourite place to read, especially on my sofa because it's so quiet and lovely. But I do read on my lunch break at work every day. I read everywhere basically. So I will always have a book with me. If I'm in the hairdressers, I'm reading. If I'm waiting for David to finish work, I'm reading. If I go to my mum and dad's house, I take a book with me and I read. If I go and work at my cousin's cafe, I take a book with me and read on my break. I just like to read everywhere, and yeah, everywhere, but at home is my favourite place. Reading out loud or in your head. I always read in my head, but I do like reading out loud because I like the sound of my own voice. No, that's not true. That's what my mum always says. I do like reading aloud, and recently I read The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe to David, just as a little thing to do. And we quite like reading aloud to one another, don't we, dear?
do.
We do. But yeah, as a rule, I would always read like out loud. Sometimes if I'm reading classics, especially in things like in Wuthering Heights, the dialect in that, I quite often have to read that out loud so that I can understand it, because it's very, very strange and lots of accents and things. But if I read them out loud, I understand it more. But yeah, I tend to read in my head mostly. 9. Do you ever read ahead or skip pages? No, never. 10. Breaking the spine or keeping it like new? There is no way I couldn't break the spine. I read in such strange places that I always have to break the spine. I read when I'm drying my hair, so I sit cross-legged in front of the mirror and hold the book down with my foot whilst I read. So that definitely breaks the spine. And I take care of like library books and borrowed books, but my own books, they're there to be read, and I'd love to be able to keep them so beautifully and on the shelf. They look lovely with broken spines, but I can't do it. I read them in mad places. I have to hold them when I'm doing things and things like that, so I can't do it. And the last question is, do you write in your books? I haven't written in a book since I did A-level English, so no, I don't write in them. I borrow a lot of books from the library, which I would obviously never write in. But my own books, no, I don't tend to write in them. I just tend to enjoy them as they are and don't need to write in them. So that is the Reading Habits tag. Thank you very much, Katie, for tagging me in it. If anybody is watching this and thinking, hey, I would like to participate in that tag, then participate in it. Consider yourself tagged. And that's it from me, so give this video a nice thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you soon with another BookTube video. Goodbye!